Welcome to the Grassroots Weekend Preview. I'm your host, Michael. Winter comps are winding down and summer leagues are deep in preparation, but there's still sporting action to cover. Let's kick things off with a recap of last weekend's hockey action. The AIHL season is done and the AWIHL is still a few weeks away, but that doesn't mean that there was no hockey action last weekend. Members from the senior men's national team made the trip to take on the Ice Blacks in the New Zealand Winter Games last weekend. 3 games took place between Thursday to Saturday in a classic battle between the two Pacific sporting rivals. Thursday night saw New Zealand take a 4-1 win over the Australians. Friday was a tighter game, with Australia taking a 1-goal lead late in the second period. In the final minute of the game, the Mighty Roos found an empty net to take the 2-0 win, their first in the Test series. Saturday's decider could have gone either way, both teams going tit for tat throughout all 3 periods. A 3-3 scoreline at the end of regulation sent the teams into an intense 3-on-3 overtime period, but that wasn't enough to declare a winner and the game was forced to a shootout. New Zealand was unable to find the net, however Australia buried 2 pucks to claim the shootout win and the Trans-Tasman Cup for 2017. The second week of the Gridiron New South Wales competition is in the books. In the men's competition, the UTS Gators narrowly defeated the Northern Sydney Rebels 13-12. The Nepean Ducks claimed a 33-22 victory over the Wollongong Mustangs, and the West Sydney Pirates crushed the Central Coast Sharks 26-6. The Newcastle Kings claimed their first ever victory in their club's 2-year history, defeating the Northwestern Predators 31-27. Rounding out the weekend's men results, the Sydney Uni Lions shut out the University of New South Wales Raiders 38-0. In the women's competition, the UTS Gators fell to the Northern Sydney Rebels 14-22, and the University of New South Wales Raiders claimed victory, scoring 14 points and keeping the ACT Diamonds off the board. In the Colts division, the UTS Gators took out the Northern Sydney Rebels 20-7. The Wollongong Mustangs defeated the Nepean Ducks 22-6, and the Sydney Uni Cubs took the win over the University of New South Wales Raiders 44-6. Coming up this weekend in the men's division, the Sutherland Seahawks will face the University of New South Wales Raiders at 4 p.m, while the Sydney Uni Lions will take on the Northern Sydney Rebels at 7 p.m, both games being played at Sydney University. At Slade Park, the Northwestern Predators will play the UTS Gators at 3 p.m, and the Central Coast Sharks will play the Newcastle Kings at 6 p.m. Craig Park will see the West Sydney Pirates square up against the Nepean Ducks at 3 p.m. In the women's division, the University of New South Wales Raiders will take on the Northern Sydney Rebels at Sydney University, with kickoff scheduled for midday. Northwestern Phoenix will play the UTS Gators at Slade Park, with that game locked in for 1 p.m. In the Colts division, 2 games are set for the grounds at Sydney University. At 10 a.m, the Sutherland Seahawks will face the University of New South Wales Raiders, and at 2 p.m, the Sydney Uni Cubs will play the Northern Sydney Rebels. At Craig Park, the Western Sydney Pirates will take on the Nepean Ducks at 1 p.m. And that's it for this week's weekend preview. Don't forget to connect with us on social media at grassroots_AU on Twitter, grassroots_sports on Instagram, and Grassroots Sports on Facebook. Keep up to date on what's happening in emerging sports via our website, grassroots-sports.com.au. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next Friday for another Grassroots Weekend Preview.